Mock hearing with Mr. Mumtaz Khan and Sukriti Gupta. Okay, Samantha, please relax. I know this is your first time and that you're giving evidence. So may I call you Samantha?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you don't understand any of my questions, I will rephrase them. Now, Samantha, when did you apply for your ETA?
I can't remember exactly, but maybe a couple of months ago.
Okay. Can you please look at page 2 of MI, Madam Member? I am looking at the confirmation of the ETA. When does it expire?
I think sometime in February 2022.
Okay. Have you ever traveled to Canada before?
I've traveled here a couple of times, maybe 3 times, or maybe 2. I came here on a work permit, working for a landscaping company in Toronto.
On the previous 2 occasions, did you leave the country prior to the expiration of the authority to stay?
Yeah, of course, on both times. When my work was finished, I left within my status.
Now, Samantha, why are you here in Canada this time?
My mother is sick and she's in hospital, and I want to be with her, by her side.
So please tell me what happened when you arrived at the airport.
So I just, it's a bit of a haze to me at the moment. I came in and initially the first officer sent me to secondly another officer. And then that officer started asking me a number of questions. He took my phone. Generally, I think they don't believe that I'm going to go back.
Okay. So why were you not able to answer the questions?
It's very stressful, I suppose. I've been on a flight for more than 13 hours. As soon as I heard my mother is sick, I jumped on the first flight available. And I haven't slept at all throughout that flight. And of course, I'm very worried about my mother's health. I'm certain I didn't answer properly. I just don't think I was comfortable, mentally relaxed to be able to answer everything. I don't even know if I understood the questions.
Can I ask you to look at page 8 of MI? What are these?
Yes, so the officer took my phone, and my auntie, who's I think here outside, she and I talked, and she's been insistent that I should make an application for permanent residence.
Okay.
And those are our WhatsApp chats.
Okay. Have you taken any steps to perfect an application for PR?
I haven't done anything yet.
Who were you supposed to meet at the airport?
From my conversation, it was either going to be my aunt or my cousin who was going to pick me up at the airport.
Do you have a place to live here?
Of course I do. My aunt is going to put me up.
Okay. I noticed that you have a one-way ticket. Could you explain why?
Yes, I told you earlier. What happened was when my auntie told me that my mother was in hospital, I just took the first available flight. And I just don't know how long I'm going to be staying here and how long my mother needs me.
And how long do you plan to stay here?
Look, I don't think I'm going to be staying here more than a couple of months.
Are you currently working in Chile?
Yes, I am. I'm working for the same kind of company that I used to work here in Canada, for a landscaping company.
And who do you have back in San Diego?
I have my children, 2 children. I have my husband, I have my husband's family, in-laws, so a lot of people.
If the member is in mind to release you on terms and conditions, will you comply to those?
Of course I will. I've had a history of compliance, and I'm definitely going to comply with any terms and conditions.
Okay. Do you have anyone who can post a cash bond if one is required?
Of course I do. My aunt is outside, and if the member feels that it's appropriate, then no issue. My aunt will post a bond.
Thank you, Samantha. I do not have any other questions for you. Please wait. The member or my friend may have some questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Member, and to my friend. You've had an opportunity to listen to my friend, and you've also heard from the person concerned. M1 doesn't have anything difficult in it for us to deal with. It's fairly straightforward. Samantha Morales is a young woman that you have in front of you. He came to Canada on an urgent basis because of the fact that her mother was ill. Her auntie, Rosa, is outside, has told her that her mother is in ICU, and then she took the first plane out. I think the department, my friend's office, the CBSA, were a little overzealous. I think they just didn't look at the wood for the trees. We have a woman who's been here in Canada 2 times previously. She's never broken any of the rules or regulations. She's fully compliant. And she tells you today, I've got an ETA, I'm coming here to visit my aunt who's in South Vancouver Hospital in the ICU. There's no history of non-compliance with this person. My friend pointed out in his submissions that there's been WhatsApp chats between Rosa, that is her auntie, and her talking about permanent residency. Of course, there's chats about it, we're not denying it, but we're not saying in there that we're going to come and stay here illegally. People are allowed to talk about permanent residency and opportunities for permanent residency. So I don't think that is in any way negative. You have a place for Ms. Morales to stay. She is willing, she has a willing auntie who's going to house her. And she's going to go back as soon as her mother is better. I'd like you to turn to Regulation 245 of the regulations, Madam Member. Obviously, it lists some of the factors that you have to consider. And these are all, I would suggest, favorable in releasing Ms. Morales, namely her previous compliance with IRPA. My friend hasn't provided anything that says that she has not, in any way, shape or form, not complied. The second factor is length of detention. I have absolutely no idea what my friend intends to do. He was silent on length of detention. And I think, again, that favors release. With regards to best interest of the child, in this instance, the best interest of child is what I would call a neutral factor, because there are no children involved. So I would like to propose that you release Ms. Morales on the following terms and conditions. 1, that she present herself at a date and time and place that a Canada Border Services Agency officer or the Immigration Division or the Refugee Protection Division, or sorry, not the Refugee Protection Division, the division asks him to or her to appear for any obligations imposed, must reside with Rosa Morales and not change the address. That if Ms. Morales, Samantha Morales, wants to change the address, then she report that change of address prior to moving. Report to an officer at the CBSA office in person at 700 300 West Georgia, Vancouver, once a week. And I would suggest every Monday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. The first reporting date should start this coming Monday. And that Ms. Morales should confirm her departure with CBSA prior to leaving, fully cooperate with respect to any obligations imposed by the department, not work or study without authorization, and lastly, that she report any changes in her circumstances. I think that this is a fairly straightforward and tight plan of release for someone who's never ever shown any signs of non-compliance. Madam Member, unless there's something else that you want me to deal with, those are my submissions.